Hey Mama Gang, so I am coming to you way from Riviera Maya in Mexico. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm sitting here on my patio and we have a swim up right here at our room. So it's really, really, really nice here. We're down here for Jamil's best friend's wedding. He's actually officiating the wedding, which is super, super dope. Like, how dope is that to officiate a wedding? He is not an actual pastor, but because they're already married, anybody can officiate you. So he's gonna be doing that, and then it's just a really special time for us. Now, normally I would have done like a travel vlog of like everything we're doing, and I am still recording some things we're doing and what's been going on for the trip. But this trip is a little different for me because I am a new mom, as we all know, Mama Sal, and I'm a exclusive pumping mom. So things have been quite challenging for me specifically. So I said, you know what, instead of doing just a sweet travel vlog where I'm like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're eating, here's how it's going, it's really hard for me to do that, only because like I'm just trying to survive. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I'm just trying to make it and enjoy the trip, because pumping while traveling is so ghetto. Okay, super ghetto. All right, so we originally came out on a plane, you know, regular seats. Economy plus, which is what we usually like to fly, was probably $700 or $800 more per person, which is normally like $150 per person. So we don't usually mind doing the upgrade, but we're not paying extra $700, $800. Like, that's just, you know, outrageous. So we didn't even do that whatsoever. But let's start with the plane ride. Now, I had to pump on a plane because of the timing. All right, we left at 3 a.m. So now I usually don't pump overnight, but my first pump is 6 a.m. My second pump is my first pump is between 6, either at 6 or 6:30. My second pump is either at 10 or 10:30. Third pump, 2 or 2:30. Fourth pump, 6 or 6:30 p.m. And then fifth pump of the night, 10 or 10:30 at night. So that's usually my schedule. That's usually when my breasts fill up, and that's usually when I have to pump. Like, okay, it's different when you're an exclusive pumping mom. Like, I've been trying to talk to my nursing moms. They really don't understand it's a difference. Like, when you're an exclusive pumping mom, you have to pump. Like, you can't just pump a little to relieve pressure. You have to completely drain your boobs, so that way, you know, you feel relief and you get that milk out. You know, my body has been able to create milk enough, you know, for the day's worth of feedings from my son plus more. So I'm basically an overproducer, okay? Which I thought was the goal, but it's really not the goal, because it's just a lot to deal with, and I'm just gonna get into it. So on the way here, my first pump was at 6:30, so that's on a plane. We're on a plane. The second pump was at 10:30. We on a plane. The problem is, if I don't pump at those times, I get engorged, okay? Milk fills up. Now, the problem with engorgement is you can end up getting mastitis, which is an infection of the breast if you stay engorged too long. Luckily, my engorgement usually only lasts for like that day, but it's a constant, like, I'm engorged, I gotta relief, engorge, relief. Like, I'm just constantly engorged all the time. I haven't gotten mastitis, which is really good, but the engorgement is just like a heavy feeling in your breasts. They hurt, they're tingly, like, it just doesn't feel good. Like, you always want to feel kind of empty. And then on top with the engorgement comes, it's the engorgement, and then it's the clogged ducts. So then on top of that, I'm getting clogged ducts all the time. Every time I turn around, my ducts are just clogging with milk. My boobs are hard all the way around. I feel lumps in them. That's just milk that has been clogged up because I'm producing so much. And, you know, I probably should be pumping every 3 hours, but I don't want to overproduce even more. So that's why I do every 4 hours. But I probably got enough to really pump every 2 hours. But there's no way I'm doing that. So 4 hours is like my sweet spot for me. Anything over that, like right now it's been about 5.5 hours. So now it's really time. But I should have pumped before I made the video, but I want to edit the video while I'm pumping. So it could be out by the next day for my 9 a.m. YouTube release. So anywho, on the plane ride here, okay, trying to pump, like I'm trying to pull out my pumps, I'm trying to pull out my wipes, I'm trying to pull out everything I need. It's a small space, stuff is falling over, stuff, it was just so chaotic and crazy. I'm like, oh my God, this shouldn't be this hard. I tried a new pump because you're able to, I'm gonna just say, I tried the Willow pumps, okay? A friend gifted me the Willow pump because you can pump directly into the bag, which is very ideal for a situation where you're on a plane, in a situation where you're not in such sanitary conditions. So you pump into the bag, it's already sealed, you're done. You don't have to rinse out. It's, reusable containers, no transferring your milk from the milk container to a bottle or to a bag. So I figured, ooh, ideal situation. But I get, I do my 2 pumps. I'm good, right? 2 pumps on the plane. Yeah, I spilled some breast milk. Yeah, I spilled some water trying to clean out the little tube. It was a hot mess. Like, stuff is falling out everywhere, rolling everywhere. Jamil trying to help me. The guy behind me staring at me, boobs all out. Like, I'm just trying to pump here so I can keep my supply. That's it. So we get through those, and I'm like, whew, pumping on a plane was an epic fail, but a success. So the next thing is I get to the room and I'm doing my pumps. Like I do my last couple pumps, and I noticed that my nipples had severe damage, basically like a blister. What happens is this is like a little water bubble that fills up. Sometimes milk could get there too if it fills up with milk. But it's basically like a blister on your nipple, and it hurts when you're pumping. But you have to keep pumping or your supply will decrease or you'll be engorged. So it's just a catch-22 at the end of the day. So now I'm trying to pump with my Medela Symphony because that one does not cause me any blisters, but it's hurting. Back up a little. Why did I get a blister? When your nipples aren't used to a new pump, it takes a learning curve for you to get used to that pump. So instead of me being intimidated by the Willow because of the way it was looking, I should have been practicing with it at home because I had it for a few weeks, but I just waited until the night before to practice with it. But I should have been having my nipples get used to the Willow to come out of town. So that's a tip. If you're switching pumps or trying a new pump, especially for out of town use, get used to it in advance. I didn't get used to mine in advance, and I really kind of paid for it. So because I didn't get used to the Willow pump, my nipple only on the one side it happened, and I know why, because I just pumped a little longer than I should have. I usually pump for 30 minutes at a time, but I pumped for like 45 because I was really trying to get all that milk out. It was coming out so slow. But ultimately, it was probably just not that time for that boob. I should have just got out what I could in 30 minutes and waited until I got to the hotel to use the Medela Symphony, which my boobs and nipples are used to. So don't over pump, and that's what caused it on this boob specifically. On this one, it was totally fine, no bump, no blister, because I didn't over pump on it. So that was the thing. Don't over pump, especially with a wearable pump. So now we're in the room, I'm trying to nurse it, and that's the picture on the thumbnail, is me nursing a pump. Ultimately, trying to nurse it, I left my saline solution at home, which is what you use for blisters and cracks and sore nipples. I did bring the balm that came with the solution, but I left the solution. So I was like, what can I do? Googling, what can I do? And basically it was like, oh, salt and water. I'm like, all right, let me call down a room service. They came in with the salt, came in with some salt packets in this little tiny ramekin dish. So I was able to just soak my nipple in that dish with the salt. That was a relief. I put the cream on, it's going down, but it keeps getting agitated every time I pump. But finally it went down. So normally with the Frida Baby Mom Care, like that Frida Baby kit, it's a pink nipple cream and a saline solution. Get that if you are a pumping mom. Get that, even a nursing mom, because nursing moms can get blisters too from the baby latching on. So with that, pretty much went down within 24 hours. Blister is gone, it's still red, it's still sore, but it's okay to pump. It's like pumping isn't such a bad thing for me now. So that was that situation from when I first woke up, basically yesterday morning. And I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I was just so frustrated. I was crying because it just was so much. I'm like, yo, this pumping shouldn't be this difficult out of town, but it really was. You know, like, you just never know what's gonna happen. I'm not in my same familiar spaces at home like I am at home for the past 4 months. You know, I don't have all my supplies with me because I figured I was gonna be good because I've been pumping for 4 months, almost 5 months. My son is about to be 5 months. So I'm thinking, you know, your girl is good. But I realized if I do go out of town again, it's a big if. While pumping within this first year, I'm gonna bring my care kit with me because I just never know if I'm gonna need it. Okay, I'm not gonna just bring the cream, I'm gonna bring the saline spray too. So, you know, we're pumping. It's going good, but now I'm noticing I can't use the wearable pump because of the blister. So now I gotta come back to the room every 4 hours to pump. I'm in a beautiful resort. I'm on vacation. I don't really want to come back to the room to pump, but I have to because of the fact that I don't want my supply to decrease. I don't want issues with engorgement and mastitis. I don't want all those things, so I have to do it. It's like you become an employee of your pump. Like, you have to show up. You have to do it. You have to work your 30-minute shift every 4 hours. And, you know, I don't recommend pumping for 30 minutes because once you start off pumping for 30 minutes, you have to continue to pump for 30 minutes because that's what empties you out. So they say pump for 15, 20 minutes to start. That's what I should have stuck with, but I kept getting engorged so bad in the beginning. Only 30 minutes was allowing me to empty my breath. So I had to pump for 30 minutes, but then my boo started producing 30 minutes worth of milk. So now every 4 hours for 30 minutes. So basically 2 hours out the day, 2.5 hours out the day are dedicated to pumping for me. And it's not so bad. You know, I edit YouTube videos. I do a couple of posts, whatever I gotta do, you know, during that time. So it's not so bad, but it's just the fact that I'm out of town and then now I gotta do that. So every freaking 30 minutes. It's a lot, to say the least. So that's what it's been like for me. I couldn't go do the water sports today because I couldn't take the wearable pump. I had to be close to the room. You know, I was just like, I'm gonna take a nap. Like, it's been a rough little time for me. No reflection on the trip, no reflection on the bride and groom. They are wonderful. They've been treating us so nicely. They've been treating all their guests great. We gave us nice welcome bags. We had a nice cocktail reception. We're gonna have a nice dinner tonight for the rehearsal dinner, beautiful wedding. So they are on point. It's organized, it's together. I love it. It's just my own personal mommyhood traveling experience has been difficult for me. No reflection on them. It's just my own. Like, I could take this trip, put a different trip in. It probably would have been the exact same. Not even gonna hold you. So I just wanted to come in and just share like that little bit of feeling. You know, I was thinking to myself too, like, is this postpartum depression? I don't feel depressed, but I think it's postpartum frustration and postpartum aggravation, to say the freaking least, okay? Like, I think that's what it is for me. It is really postpartum just making me mad. So I'm about to go take a shower and do my next pump. And then I've been kind of spacing them out so I can end by 10:30. I haven't been able to keep up with my exact times, and plus we're an hour behind in Mexico, so that's throwing me off too, and throwing me from, you know, my joints are usually on time, so it's just throwing me off all the way. But I'm making it do. That's the one thing, you know, I'm just trying to I hate to say keep a good attitude and stay positive because I'm trying to remove myself from toxic positivity. But I'm just trying to get through this experience as best as I can and not let it cloud my whole trip, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to feel how I feel about what I have to do personally on this trip and balance it with trying to have a nice time on this trip and enjoy it as well, you know. But I chose to take a nap for a few hours, and that's what my body felt like. Tomorrow, I'm sure I'll be able to get in the pool and chill out. I was in here yesterday, you know, enjoying some of the beverages. But I think for today, I really just needed to just chill out, relax, and just enjoy that time. Cyrus was with my mom and dad. I've been FaceTiming him, checking on him. Seeing my baby has been helping me cope with him not being here, because I think that's a part of it too, honestly, is this I feel a little like I miss him. So it's bringing out a feeling of, damn, I miss my baby a lot, like a whole lot, you know. So it's bringing this weird sensation for me because I miss him so much. So ultimately, that's what's going on my trip. I don't know if I'm still gonna do a vlog, we'll see. But I just wanted to be honest. I just wanted to be real about my experience as a pumping mom on vacation. It's much harder than I thought it would be. Now, I did make a YouTube video about pumping while traveling by car. That was overnight to Canada, and it was just only had to pump a few times. And I was using my wearable pump that I'm used to. So I had a better experience that time because I didn't have the damaged nipple and this, that, and the third. And it was a short trip. It was only one day overnight. So that was cool. But yeah, this was much different because it's a longer trip. I tried new pumps. I do have my same wearable pumps that I am gonna actually use those on the way back. I'm just gonna have to deal with the milk spillage and just try to deal with, I may dump that if I don't feel like it's in a sanitary condition that I'm pumping in. On the plane, I may just dump that milk completely, but we're leaving here on Monday at 9:50 a.m. Our flight isn't until 2, but that's just how the resort setting up the rides. When you do resorts, they set your ride up 62 hours in advance. So we leave at 2, we don't get home till midnight. So I'm pretty much gonna be gone for 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. There's no way I can go 15 hours without pumping. I've done it, but then I'm leaking everywhere. I wake up, I'm completely engorged. I'm completely leaking everywhere. Like the first day I was using those wearable pumps, I woke up the next day, my whole dress was completely, I fell asleep in my dress. My whole dress was completely drenched. So that it's just a frustration, like, damn, yo. I'm so tired of this. But that's the life of an exclusive pumping mom. You know, I want to feed my son breast milk. I want the best for him. And for the most, and you can check out my exclusive pumping pros and cons list or video talking about why I even became an exclusive pumper. But it's much harder, I believe, because it's more layers, it's more complications, it's more things you gotta do. I'm sure once you get over that learning curve with nursing, you in a good flow. And I am in a good flow with pumping. It's just I gotta constantly pump all the time, you know? So that's it, Mama Gang. I just wanted to come in and be honest and just let you know, what's been going on for me while I'm on this trip as a postpartum mom. That's it too, Mama Gang. Another thing it's been a little crazy for me is I still have postpartum preeclampsia, so high blood pressure, and pretty much my feet are still swelling. So that's been a little difficult too, traveling with postpartum, dealing with swelling as well. So how to combat that is compression socks and sneakers or special shoes. But it's Mexico, like I want to be cute, you know? So I haven't been doing as much as I should have. So now I gotta elevate my feet a lot and keep my feet up, you know, whenever I'm sitting down, trying to lift them up and everything, and not walk around as much and everything. So, like I said, it's a lot, but you know, overall, it's nice to get away, enjoy time off, spend time with my husband. But those were some of the challenges that I was facing while on vacation. Hand over your heart. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at peace. Namaste.